Right guys, so I thought I would do a quick head-to-head between Automobilista 2 and RaceRoom. So RaceRoom has gotten some graphical updates over the last week or two. I've gotten back into RaceRoom a little, and so far like everything's been fun, but I thought I'd give a kind of a physics, well, a bit of a physics deep dive, or a bit of a physics dive, let's say, to the actual handling of the two sims, right? So I thought, well, to make things a bit interesting, I'd go to the Formula 3 in AMS2, because the Formula 3 in AMS2, in my estimation, is probably one of the best Formula cars in sim racing, right? So I just want to see kind of how this behaves relative to the RaceRoom, and because I've driven some of the touring cars in RaceRoom, I haven't driven the Formulas yet, and I haven't driven the Formula in this either. So I'm coming into this kind of without any practice runs or anything like that, because, you know, if I start doing practice runs, I'm going to be biased and all that sort of thing, so it just wouldn't be fair. But what I'm looking for is the usual things on these kind of little head-to-heads that I like to do, is how does the car feel in corners, how does it feel under braking, exit, what's the slip angles like, and overall, like, what's the car feel like, what's it telling me in the force feedback. So let's get an outside shot of this car first. Looks great. Sounds pretty good as well. And what I'm doing here, I'm just looking to see the reaction of the chassis, like how much the car rolls, what it's doing. I'm just looking at the suspension, kind of how it interacts with curves and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see a little bit of movement. It's very slight, but it's a stiff Formula car as well, of course. Let me just slacken off the force feedback a tiny bit. Alright. So I'll do 2 or 3 laps in each of the sims, so just to kind of see what it feels like. Side-to-side motion here is quite direct. Initially, like, I know it's only the out lap, so the tyres are still a bit cold, but it is interesting to kind of feel like the car kind of, it's almost like slipping all at once, which is normal. Like, you know, well-balanced race car kind of almost feel like a 4-wheel sort of gentle slide, gentle drift in some circumstances. Frame rate wise, I'm getting 128, say 130, let's just call it 130 frames per second. I've got triple 1080s. And the screens are capable of 165 Hz, so but anything over 110, 120 is like more than adequate for the frame rate junkies among us. Alright, let's okay, it does feel a little different. I'm just going to put the bias forward a little, so that felt very, very rear biased. It does feel really nice though, I have to say. Like, you know, all of the junior Formula cars, like the F3 and AMS2 is among the best, I think. Yeah, typical AMS2 force feedback, it's giving me all of the detail. I'm never in any doubt as to what's happening. Gentle slip from the rear, not braking traction, but just a gentle kind of extra bit of rotation. Yeah, I'm not going for lap times here or anything. I just want to kind of feel what the car's doing, what the physics is doing. And okay, so the back of it in the slow speed likes to fish away quite easily there. Just a characteristic of the car, maybe. I wonder will it be like that in RaceRoom. There we go again, look. It's like this Formula 3 car is a little bit clumsy at slow speed. Kind of high angle corners, high angle rotations. And that was just all messy. It's like the front was letting go, but I wasn't quite sure how much. That's what we call loss of control. That's nothing to do with the sim not giving me the proper feedback. That's me just overdriving the front of it, just to kind of provoke a reaction from the physics, from the car, kind of see what it's wanting to do. Feels fantastic, like, really does. With this bit here, slip might be a little bit too excessive. That's me just abusing it. Let's see what I can get away with. Getting away with quite a lot, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily wrong. There's that kind of lazy slide at the back. There we go, look, so strange, but probably a characteristic of the car, like it's, you know, just is how it is. We'll do another lap. Yeah, the rear is just wanting to come around on brakes, which, you know, if I'm braking hard and kind of being a bit chaotic with the turn-in, that's going to happen. And then I can like drive it through by kind of picking the throttle up early if you get the rotation kind of correct early on. There is an element of like steer from the rear. Yeah, see there, like, and I mean, I exaggerated it there just to show kind of the amount of slip you can get away with. Probably a little excessive, but I don't think it's a million miles away. Like, just a little excessive, of course, but no, I nitpick in these, you know I do. But I just feel that I'm able to like drift the car a little bit. You know, the Formula 3 I don't think is a drift machine at all, so let's do one more, maybe even a half lap. I want to just try and hook up a decent-ish lap. Yeah, there I am, steering from the back with throttle there, and then you can see like the opposite lock on the exit. So, yeah, there is an element of just steer from the rear, but yeah, okay, I just got greedy there. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I mean, you can see kind of what's going on. Yeah, so it's really cool. It feels nice, but like I say, there is that kind of rear steer bias on it. The car itself is great, like loads of fun to drive, even with that rear kind of slightly slippy feeling. It makes for, I mean, look at it there, I mean, it just feels great through the corners. But what it does is going to allow, like, let's say, you know, less experienced sim racers to, you know, get in, drive and have fun. And it's not a gimme to drive, like, I mean, you still have to be kind of switched on. You still need to, like, react quick when it starts stepping out. So it's not like an arcade game or anything like that. But like I say, the rear tire is a little bit, maybe just a little bit, maybe too forgiving. But again, like, it's not a massive thing. It's not a massive thing. Like, the car model overall is brilliant. Now jumping into RaceRoom, I don't know what's going to be like. I've driven some of the new touring cars they released, like the 95 touring car, like the Mercedes and stuff. I know that was there, and I've been kind of just in one or two of the GT3s and stuff. But yeah, interested to see what their Formula 3 is like relative to this. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, I still think this is among the best. Like, and I mean, when you factor in the kind of tracks that AMS2 has, like, I mean, this car at Oulton Park, I remember last time I drove it, was just, yeah, perfection. Absolute perfection. But you could feel like the balance of the car kind of going a lot to the front as well on corner entry in some situations. So yeah, I mean, the actual kind of, I suppose, weight balance was quite obvious. Particularly coming into turn one once or twice, where you could probably see me kind of fighting the rear on entry, like, with a little bit of opposite lock. And that was apparent. Like there is a limit to the front end in terms of, well, not really the front end, but the rear on brakes. The front end was quite strong. It's like I always kind of say with AMS2 in a lot of cases, like when you're dealing with a car with downforce in AMS2, the front end is almost feels like it's invincible, you know, like there's just no limit to the grip at the front end, and what happens is the rear then kind of pivots around and you have this like rearward or rear steering kind of bias, if you get me, like similar to a forklift. I'm not saying it's like a forklift, but that sort of thing, if you can imagine that it's constantly the rear. The steering wheel kind of points the front where you want to go, the front doesn't turn, and then the rear just pivots around. I'm exaggerating it a little bit just to get the point across, but yeah. Anyway, let's go to RaceRoom and let's see what the Formula 3 is like at RaceRoom, and we'll do Donington as well. Kind of let's see what it gives us. Alright guys, here we are in RaceRoom. So there's the car, Formula 3, same as what we had in AMS2, so it looks to be the same model. I know the AMS2 one is on the Brazilian F3 Championship. This is probably slightly different, probably European or something, I don't know. But let's start her up and let's... Okay, so she's running. Let's get the show on the road. Alright. Just change the force feedback, it's a little bit on the light side. Just want to get it similar to AMS2 if I can. Yeah, okay, we'll leave it about there. Alright, let's do a sound check. The pops and bangs, however, are quite nice. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and then what's it like over the curb? So I can see the chassis is seemingly bumping a little bit more over the ground, like little bumps. Like it seems to be reacting a little bit more to the tarmac compared to the AMS2 version. I love the sound out of this, I have to say. Very nice sound. Alright, let's oh, it's very nice. The pops and bangs, I really like that. And even there, a lot of lock, you could feel the tyre kind of bounce a little bit, like it wasn't comfortable and it kind of skipped over the tarmac a bit. That's really cool. See right there? I'm impressed with that. Like I've only driven an outlap, but the physics already are just surprisingly good. Yeah, this is a lot more natural. Like I'm not steering from the rear, it's like the front has a role to play. Yeah, we actually have a bit of understeer, would you believe? Coming out of AMS2, that just feels a bit odd. The car's bouncing a little bit more, but in a more natural way over the bumps. Yeah, when I give it full throttle there, the back of it does help a bit of rotation, but not as much as Automobilista 2. Oh, bump there. Oh, and there's that lazy kind of rearward drift at the slow speed corner, similar to AMS2 in fact, so this must be just this must be a characteristic of the Formula 3 car itself. But I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but when I turn in at the slow speed, it's like the front just wants to push and skip across the tarmac. Obviously, like, not much downforce on this at slow speed at all, so yeah, this is really cool actually. This is yeah, man, this is good. This is very good. Much more neutral and much more natural in how it feels. Yeah, the car's like interacting with the road a lot more, it seems. Oh yeah. The slip angle is there, but it's not as forgiving as IMS2. Like I felt I had to be like much sharper on the correction there. I don't know why I'm getting track limits for that. Maybe the cut was a bit excessive, but yeah, when you've got a lot of lock on, you can feel the car kind of bounce, maybe with the diff locking, and it just wants to kind of push on. Right there, like, yeah, it feels really good. Like, this is really good. Getting this lap will not count. Surely that wasn't a cut at the start there, was it? Maybe that's one thing RaceRoom needs to do, is have a look at the track limits. Like, oh, a bit wide there, of course. Look, it feels like if they are the track limits that we're getting, like, it seems like you can't attack the circuit. And like, the fun of racing is to attack the track, isn't it? To go heavy at the curbs and, you know, steal a bit of runoff here and there, like, and really push the track, push the limits. And I just feel that the RaceRoom track limits are just not supportive of that. Very like iRacing, I guess, where the white line is, you know, almost the limit and there's nothing beyond that. Yeah, there we go. That's slow speed, and we had it there in we had it. Why will the next lap block count? Look at this. It's saying the next lap won't count either. Why? Alright, don't really care about lap times too much. I will keep an eye. The lap time is up the top, isn't it? So 1:36, right? Let's do a lap and see what we actually crossed the line at. I think AMS2 like is around 1:30 or 1:29 or something like that. So regarding about the invalid lap, just we'll forget that, and I'll have a look up the top of the screen for the actual lap time that we managed to do. So I feel like I'm driving them in the same sort of way, but this certainly feels more neutral balanced as an actual model. You know, like I say, the front of the car is not as strong, and the back of the car is not as weak as it is in AMS2. So therefore, you don't get that kind of rear pivot. It's like the front actually will change direction, as opposed to the back just rotating around the front. I find you have to get the wheel a bit straightened out before you start feeding the throttle in, because it seems that this car as a model, and the same in AMS2, has this tendency to want to just drift around itself at slow speeds. Right, this lap is going to be a 125 that was, or thereabouts. So it does seem to be quicker than the AMS2 version, and that could be just down to like engine power. I don't think it's down to like downforce or anything else. Like, if anything, the AMS2 one felt like it had more grip. This probably is a little quicker though, like in terms of the engine, maybe. this feels really nice, guys. Really, really nice. Lovely how it just bounces over the curb like that. Very natural. Very natural. Frame rate wise, at the moment I'm getting 165, which is what I have at the cap at because of the monitors. So I'm going by the pits here. We have 165 as well. Yes, 165 still. So full frame rate even by the pits, and there's a 124.5. Now there was a bit of a slide on this lap, so we'd probably get that down. So I think this car could do like another half second quicker, and then like if I was practicing, you know, we could probably get into the 21s, maybe 22s, I don't know. Alright, let's have a look at the old replay. Yeah, I have to say, guys, that was impressive right there. That was really impressive. I didn't think it would feel like that at all. That felt so natural. Like a Formula car, like if you can imagine like a high-speed go-kart with some aero and a bit of forgiveness, because it, you know, it's obviously got a suspension where a go-kart doesn't, right? That's how this felt, which is how I imagine a Formula car should feel. It definitely had a limit on the front. It definitely had a limit on the rear of the car. The weight pitch was more, like, well, I won't say more evident. It was there, but it was less pronounced because you didn't have the overly strong front that you had on AMS2. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Yeah, this felt really, really good. Really good. Like, I mean, and I didn't think it would. You know, I kind of done this, kind of expecting, hoping maybe that AMS2 would. You know, oh yeah, AMS2 is way better. It's not even close, and oh, like, as Formula cars go, this is yeah, this is good. It just felt better, like, you know, like it was more natural. You know, like I was driving a car and the car had a tyre, and that tyre was interacting with the road, and it was interacting with the bumps, and it was just doing kind of everything that like a normal tyre would do, and it was on a chassis that was naturally balanced, and a tyre model that was naturally balanced and that made sense. Where I thought in AMS2, like, a characteristic of the car in AMS2 was that the rear pivots around the front, as I say, and that certainly wasn't the case here. Like, the only time you get the car to pivot was when you know, trail brake in and you allow the front to grip up, and then it will turn, and then the back will come around with it. That's how a car should be, and that's how RaceRoom was with its Formula 3. Yeah, I have to say, guys, that I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, I have to say. Now, I don't know if RaceRoom has gotten updates since, right? I only flicked back onto this like briefly over the weekend for a couple of hours, like just with the DTM cars and some, you know, some tin tops really. But I don't know if any other physics updates have happened since the past year, like, because I haven't driven this in I'm guessing over a year since the last couple of days when they done the graphical update. Graphically it looks very good. I mean, it's still probably not up to the same AMS2 standards, of course, graphically, but I mean, it's a lot better than what it was. Still a bit more to do, of course. Like, there's still no wet weather. There's still, I believe, we don't even have a night possibility or a night transition. So, you know, Automobilista 2 does a number of other things that this doesn't. but you know, I have heard all the hype about how good RaceRoom is when it comes to physics and stuff like that, and yeah, I can see now what all the fuss is about. Never been a big RaceRoom guy, but having driven this, like, it's certainly given me like more of an urge to go back into it and actually give it a bit of a try, maybe alongside LMU and maybe some ovals and iRacing or something. But yeah, I'm impressed, very impressed. Didn't expect that. And the sounds are quite good, aren't they? Like that pops and bangs and. Let's see if I can actually get a. There's a few onboard cameras as well. Right, let's just have a quick look at the suspension here before we. Yeah, so the suspension is interacting with pretty much everything. Yeah. What other cameras do we have? Yeah, anyway guys, what can I say? Not what I expected. I'm banging on about the AMS2 F3 being the best junior Formula car there is. That is probably not my opinion after driving that. Yeah. Joe, I think if AMS2 sorted out that rear tyre slip, and just balanced the chassis more the way it was in this, I think it would make a huge difference. I think it would bring it back in line, because I can feel elements of AMS2 in this, but just this is balanced much more in the F3 car. I haven't done other cars actually, and I must, but yeah, anyway guys, we'll leave it there. Yeah, give RaceRoom a go, let me know what you think. Till the next one, cheers.